Hello, students. This is the review for our first test. I did not have a chance to be able to schedule a Zoom meeting with all of you as I do teach on Monday and Wednesday nights. So what I'm going to do is go through some of the things that you should study, and I'll go through some of the procedures for taking the first test. So let's go ahead and review first for the first test. If you go into Canvas, into the exam review, it unlocks on January 31st. And what you'll want to make sure that you look at on that review is that you're going to calculate out the debt ratio, you're going to calculate out return on assets, record transactions into the T account, you're going to foot and balance, and then prepare a trial balance. There's going to be 15 vocabulary words. I'll go through all of this step by step in a little bit. You're going to journalize 8 transactions into the general journal, and then I'll give you a trial balance, and you're going to prepare the 3 financials: the income statement, the statement of owner's equity, and the balance sheet. So let's start with the debt ratio to begin with. That was from Chapter 2. Unfortunately, I did not have any problems to give you to practice, but we did that in our demo that we had for Chapter 2. The ratio is on, page 61 in the book, whether it's the textbook or the ebook. And the ratio is total liabilities divided by total assets. So you would get both of these numbers from your balance sheet. And what you will do is you will, again, take the total liabilities from the balance sheet and divide that by the total assets. You want that number to be over 1, because that means that the company is able to cover their debt. If it's under 1, they are not able to cover their debt. So again, go back and check the demo, go back and look at page 61 in the textbook. If you want to practice, this is a little bit different. There's 3 companies in exercise 2-29, excuse me, on page 73 in the book. And you have DreamWorks, Pixar, and Universal, and you can practice with that. They give you 4 numbers: expenses, total assets, net income, and total liabilities. But again, you can go through and take the total liabilities and divide it by the total assets, and then at least practice with that exercise. So exercise 2-29 on page 73 in the textbook. Okay, for the return on assets, that is from Chapter 1. And in Chapter 1, for that, if you do go back and you look through your homework, that is problem 111A. And we did the ROA, or return on assets, for Coca-Cola and for Pepsi. And again, that's your net income divided by your average total assets. Now, with both of those, if I give you the average total assets, use that number. If you are given 2 separate assets for, let's say, 2020 and 2021, you'll add those together and divide it by 2 to get the average total assets. So again, net income divided by average total assets. And you want that to be, again, over 1. The higher the number, the better, that they're able to return the net income, or how the owner of the company or the company is managing their sales. Okay, so you want to look at that. So again, for Coca-Cola and for Pepsi, and I'll show you this up here on the screen, but this is problem 111A. I'm really just worried about you looking at problem, or part 1 here for Coke and Pepsi, calculating that out. Make sure you bring this out a couple decimal places so that we can do some comparison if you're asked in that question to compare from year to year, or if you're asked to compare to the competition. Now, for both of those ratios, you are allowed to have a sticky note or a 3x5 card with just the formulas for those 2 ratios on your card. That's the only helper items that you're going to be allowed to have for the test. So please make sure that you write those formulas out correctly, put them on a sticky note, put them on a 3x5 card, but make sure that you have those available for you. All right, the next part of the test, you're going to record some transactions into the T accounts. Now, we did that into Chapter 2, and you can go back and look at the 2 T account problems that I gave out for homework. And with those accounts, you're just going to have a few. The T accounts will be set for you with the titles of the accounts on them, not the plus and minus, or remember, debit is left, credit is right. So you'll have to remember that. So this is one of your T account problems here from Chapter 2. And again, what you'll do is I'll give you the transactions and you'll put them into the T accounts. Now, when you're finished, you're going to foot and balance. Now, remember, foot and balancing means that you're going to add up, say, for instance, cash on the left. That's what we took in. And then what we paid out is on the right. You're going to subtract those and give the balance, okay? So remember that the balance should be on the plus side of the account, okay? And so we add up both the sides and then subtract and put your balance on the normal balance or the plus side of the account. So again, you'll have a few transactions. Then you're going to prepare a trial balance from that. And the trial balance, again, you're just going to take the debits and you're going to put those all on the left side, and then the credits will go on the right side. And then you'll add up both sides and make sure that your debits equal credits. We did problem 2.6a, and there's an example here. We just did the trial balance for 2.6a. You can do the B problem if you want to for extra practice. You're again just listing the title straight down, write totals on the left side, put your debits in the debit column, your credits in the credit column, and then add those together and make sure that your debits equal credits, and then double rule both sides. Please remember the heading. This doesn't show it, but you need to make sure you have the name of the company, trial balance, and then the specific date with a year. Now, again, you can practice with 2.6b. You can do the B problem with that as well. With the trial balance, it is not a balance sheet. There's not assets listed separately from the liabilities from the capital. So make sure that it's just a listing of the titles of your T accounts, and then the balance is on the debit or credit side. The next part of the test, there's going to be 15 vocabulary words. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to match up the definition to the vocabulary words. It just covers Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So think about the words that we have used the most in the 2 chapters, like debit, credit, assets, withdrawals, revenue, liabilities, capital, and then go back through and look over the principles and the assumptions that we covered in Chapter 1. Now, we did a couple problems where you had to go through and talk about those. Quick Study 1.6 was one of them. And that was where we had some principles and assumptions like revenue recognition, business entity, and the cost principle. Make sure that you just go through those different principles and assumptions. But again, go back and look at Quick Study 1.6. And I think, and then exercise 1.7. Yes, and then go back and look at exercise 1.7 as well. And that talks about some of those other ones like going concern, assumption, expense recognition, or the matching principle, and then our full disclosure principle as well. So make sure you go back and check those. So again, you'll take the definition and match it up with the vocabulary word, and you'll put the answer on the far right side. Please make sure I can read your letters. I'm sorry, you don't have to do that. You're not handwriting that. So sorry, never mind. Just make sure that you just match those up. Okay, then I'm going to have some transactions for you to journalize into the general journal. There's going to be 8 of them. Now, there's no posting on this test, no posting at all. You just have to journalize the transactions. So we've done a lot of journalizing in this chapter. And so what I want you to do is go back and look at some of the problems. Like you can go back and visit a couple of the chapter 2 problems, like exercise 213. Here you have your transactions. We paid cash, or I'm sorry, received cash from the owner as an investment. So you debit cash and credit your capital. You paid cash for supplies, debit supplies, credit cash. Bought equipment on credit, debit your equipment, credit your accounts payable. Receive cash from customers for services provided, so we debit the cash and credit the revenue. You're also going to bill a customer for the services provided, just like in our demo with the haircut that was provided on service. So you debit accounts receivable and credit the revenue. Paid cash for any expense, list the expense, and then cash is your credit. And then the owner withdrawing cash for personal use down here. So you put your owner's name, and then cash is going to be your credit. When you journalize your transactions, make sure that you do put in your explanation. Make sure that those are there as well. Again, you can go back and look at problem 2.1a. You can practice with problem 2.1b, because the B problems we didn't do for homework, but you can practice with that as well. Again, no posting on the test. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. Problem 2.2a. Problem 2.2a we did as well, so you could do the B problem with that one too. So, that's another one that you can practice as well. Again, no posting for the test. And then, of course, you've been working on your serial problem. In that serial problem is, another great source for you to be practicing with as well. And then that's due February 2nd, the day after our test. So again, you can keep practicing with the serial problem. And then if you've already finished up the serial problem, you could practice your journalizing with serial 3. So you can start just with step 1 of serial 3 and journalize those transactions. So, that's something that you can practice with as well. So 8 transactions to journalize into the general journal. Again, explanations and then dates, make sure those are there. And you do not have to have any posting, no posting at all. The last part of the test is I'm going to give you a trial balance. So again, we've practiced with a lot of different trial balances. So let's say that with problem 2.2a, for the aerosol company, I give you this trial balance. From here, you're going to prepare your 3 financial statements, from a trial balance. Now, with that, and I'm going to show you the help today, because that was the one problem that you did and turned in from chapter 2. And then you can kind of go back and look at your homework and make sure that you whatever you might have gotten wrong on that homework that you turned in, that you fix that. All right, so for help today, with the income statement, what you're going to do is you're going to put the name of the company, income statement for month ended, and December 31st with the year. I know I don't have that on here, but you should have the year here as well. You're going to list your revenue, and I'll give you the revenue title. Then you're going to list the word expenses and all of the expenses. Make sure that you spell those out, that there's no abbreviating here at all. Then put in the amounts, total those up, write total expenses over here on the left, revenue minus expenses, and that would give you the net income in this case. So you write net income on the left, double rule on the underneath the amount here. So revenue and expenses, net income, that tells us if the company made money or lost money. For the statement of owner's equity, again, you're going to start with the name of the company, statement of owner's equity, and for the month ended December 31st with the year. Again, I know I forgot, it's not on here, but it should be on here. You're going to start with whatever the capital is that's given to you. Most of the time we've been using 0 because it's a brand new company. Name of the owner, capital, and the month with the first date. Add any investments by the owner that are given to you and the net income that you got from your income statement up here. Then you're going to subtract out your owner withdrawals, and that will give you your capital for the end of the month. So again, it should look very similar to this. You're going to double rule underneath your owner's equity. And again, make sure you use the profit that's from the net income. All right, the last one is your balance sheet. Remember, the balance sheet is just going to be assets, liability, and equity. That's all that's there. You'll list all of your assets. This is going to be a top-down, not side-by-side. It'll be a top-down. So you'll start with your assets, list your assets, and total those up. Then write liabilities, accounts payable or notes payable, whatever your liability is. And then you're going to put equity, your owner's name, comma, capital. The amount that you got from the owner's equity statement here goes on your statement here. And then you're going to add up your liabilities and equity and get your total liabilities and equity. Make sure both sides are double ruled or both totals are double ruled on that balance sheet. So a couple things to remember with this. Your income statement is only revenue and expenses. It tells the company, did we make money or did we lose money? So it's only revenue and only expenses. For your statement of owner's equity, you're only going to use investments, profit, and withdrawals. Okay, that's the only thing that's on that statement of owner's equity. Then for the balance sheet, it's just going to be assets, liabilities, and your ending capital from your statement of owner's equity. Okay, so income statement does not have any capital withdrawals, assets, or liabilities. Statement of owner's equity does not have any of your revenue, expenses, liabilities, or assets. And your balance sheet does not have withdrawals. There's no withdrawals here. It also does not have revenue or expenses. So make sure you go back and look at your help today. You did some other financials as well and other problems, or you can take any of the trial balances from any of the problems and practice your financials that way as well. So that's what's going to be on the test. Now, for the test, what you're going to do is you're going to have 1 hour and 50 minutes for the test. The test is going to need a calculator. You're not to use your cell phone. I'm going to put you on the honor system that you won't use your cell phone for that. And the only helper pages or helpers that you may have is your sticky note or 3x5 card with your ratios on it. So make sure that that's all you have. It's worth 100 points, and each section will have those points listed. Again, you're only going to have 1 hour and 50 minutes, and we're only going to take the test on February 1st. It will open at 12 in the morning, 12 a.m. in the morning, and it will close at 11:59 p.m. on February 1st. So please make sure that you do have, all of your stuff together, that you're ready to take the test. Now, with the test, it's located in Canvas. And I don't think I can record this, but part of it, but I'll try and just if you go to Canvas, on the left side where the modules are, there's quizzes. And you'll click on exam 1, and then you'll go ahead and start. So again, make sure you have 1 hour and 50 minutes of uninterrupted time. Now, you have received an email, and you're going to have the T account sheet. You're going to have the journal entry, and you're going to have your financial statement. So there's going to be several different forms that are going to be emailed to you. You're going to either print these off, or they're in Word and you can open them up in Word. If you don't have Word, then what you'll want to do is save them as a PDF if you want to type in them. But ultimately, these are going to be uploaded onto Canvas. If you print them out, you're going to need to have your CAM scanner or your physical scanner to scan those in, or if you use your phone as your scanner, you're going to have to physically scan those and put those into a PDF only and upload those to the test. So all files have to be a PDF or a Word doc. If you end up typing right into the documents in Word, then you can upload those as a Word document. So I'm only accepting PDFs or a Word doc. Do not try to open them in Google Docs, because it's not going to be the right format. So only Word. Either open them up in Word and type into them, save them as a PDF and type into them, or print them out, and then you'll save them as a PDF as you scan. The vocab and the ratios, you'll type right into the Canvas, into the quiz, into Canvas. The rest, you'll have to upload those to the test. As you are taking the test, again, make sure that you read the directions very carefully. Make sure you do everything that it does say as you are going through and completing the test, 1 hour and 50 minutes. When you're finished with the test, just go ahead and submit it. And again, you get that whole entire day. So if you work third shift and you need to do it right when you get home from work, or if you work first shift and you're going to be home, or if you're going to sleep in and take it at 9 o'clock, that's fine too. So make sure that you follow the directions that are on the test in Canvas, and make sure that you have that all set. Okay, so again, you were emailed the files that you'll need for problems 4, 5, and 6, and they'll be labeled as such when you do get that email. You're going to, like I said, type directly into them as a Word file, or you can save them as a PDF and type in them, or print them out and then write on them and scan them in. I will have to hand grade those problems, so please don't worry about your scores when you see that. It'll grade the vocab, and that's it. The rest I have to grade and put the score in. Now, I'm expecting all of you to use your academic dishonesty. This includes not using the internet to search for answers, using notes, demonstrations, or homework, not using your textbook or any person to coach or assist you in the test or take the test for you. I do hope all of you understand that you could be penalized according to the college's academic dishonesty policy. I will get the test graded. It'll probably only take me till the end of the day, the February 2nd or 3rd. So I hope to have it graded and all posted to you on Canvas. I will also send out an email when it is posted, and then I will offer to either go over your test with you individually. If you just email me, we can set up a Zoom session, or I can email you if that works too, and we can go over the test that way too. So either way, that's what I found that works successfully in the past. So study for your test. Make sure you know what you're doing. Again, you may not have any other helper sheets except for your 3x5 card or sticky note with the ratios on it. This is going to be a little bit nerve-wracking, especially those financials for the first time. Make sure you give yourself enough time to upload the documents. That's going to take a few minutes, but again, you get 1 hour and 50 minutes or 110 minutes. Set a timer so that you know, but you will have to upload those documents. Again, with that, that's all I have for the review. If you have other questions, just let me know. And if I think of something else, I'll throw it into an announcement. Make sure you have that Serial 2 ready to turn in on February 2nd. It's 15 points, and make sure you do a good job with that. Ask questions if you're not balancing on that trial balance at the end. Make sure you have your post-reference numbers on your documents, your general journal and your ledgers. Make sure you have all that on there. And then you can start Serial 3, which I'll put an announcement in about Serial 3 on Canvas as well, because there's a couple things that I want to, a couple transactions that I want to make sure that that you understand. So if you have other questions, let me know via email. Otherwise, study, And I wish all of you good luck. Read the directions and make sure that you know what is expected for the test. Thank you.